January 22nd, 2024. Marcus Giovanni here. I'm going to show you how indexing works. Index at Carrie Tipper. See, this is her face for face recognition. What comes out of this pretty smile is all the words that she speaks. And if you go down further to where her hands are, get to her fingers, everything that she types. All the emails, all the documents, everything. This is what AI does, and no one can stop it. And the IT department for a lot of the governments are outdated hacks that when you Google search their names and you look for some meta tag experience to back up what they can do besides schooling. She's 40 years old. So put it in perspective to my age. I'm going to be 64. I'm 63 now, but in a few months I'll be 64. So when you look at that, in 1983, when she was born, I already had gone through my trials and tribulations. And I had a nightclub, doing bands, painting, custom homes, getting ready to get married. I didn't know I was going to get married though, but I did end up getting married. So she was just born. In 1993, okay, she turned 10. She was 10 years old. You hearing that knocking at the door called experience and meta tags? These are what the super cities. Doesn't matter if you're Republican, doesn't matter if you're Democrat. You have to work if you're going to do the digital world. I mean, if you're going to live Mayberry RFD and have Andy Taylor and all them cats, I'm going to come there. Anyways, and you don't want anything to do with the internet, that's on you. And you will end up, and you want to do your .orgs and all this stuff to like what Denver has done, used the city attorney's office to battle and hire other people and manipulate the halls of justice. And the DA sits back, who's supposed to represent us, doesn't do anything because they're all friends. They're all been appointed. And so as mayor, I would warn them, say, hey guys, if I got elected, I'd have to sit them two down and say, guess what? The rules have changed. Her, I don't know. But the current DA, I kind of leave her out of the picture because I like her. So I can't really talk about her. I just like her. I just know people that know her. And she has to find stuff out herself and what she has to do to protect her own meta experiences, her career, and knowing that Denver District Judge Andrew Luxon concurred with Assistant City Attorney Michelle Horn under Carrie Tipper, boss, who took over from Kristen Bronson, who left abruptly, citing other things other than the truth. So what happens is when people ask this, all they got to do is ask, and AI will find it. These folks don't know. This is the new digital DNA that everyone has access to. You just have to know how to do it. And so what these folks do, okay, I pattern matched everything that she does, you know. And these folks, man, when they say, "Oh, I was the Colorado House of Representative in District 28, and she lives in Lakewood," that's the number one red flag right there. That our city's off course. You mean to tell me we can't find somebody 60, 70 years old that has some meta tags and experiences to run that office? We have to use a non-citizen, and a non-citizen is telling our citizen attorneys what to do? That can't happen. I'm sorry, that's in La La Land. And so what happens is, the more it goes real slow, folks, is a digital bleed out can go fast and it can go slow. It just depends on the end user and what they do. Are they doing the right thing? Are they doing the wrong thing? Are they going to websites like the Mayor Mike Johnston, practical, pragmatic ways to do his little crap when my committee was People for a More Pragmatic Government? Mike Johnston's just a snoot, man. He is a person of power that's going to be losing everything if he doesn't do the right thing. And he's an attorney. See, there was a reason why AI favored him more than Kelly. And Kelly wiped herself out when she came out and started saying that Mike Johnson's raising billionaire money. When you say this stuff, artificial intelligence is going to protect you from yourself. But if you're not smart enough to look it up when you Google search your name, see me, I've got all my battles planned out, man. Believe me. I've had 63 years of planning. That's why I'm here. I'm a fluke. But this fluke has created platforms to hedge the bets that Mike Johnston's continuing the decay using Mayor Hancock's policy. And see what Mike Johnston and his people are trying to do, and I'm going to show you how. There's ways to read into all of this. You know what I mean? You look at all the things. Here's Denver Mayor, Denver. That's me. Because I own City and County of Denver, LLC. I am the mayor of my corporation, folks. I didn't want to be real mayor. I don't want to shave every day. I needed to be mayor. Maybe I do need to shave every day. But it's not something I wanted to do. It was something I needed to do. Big difference in the digital world. So what happened is now with this mayor, we created that so that citizens will be able to contact the mayor's office at all times. Even this right now. And see, we're going to be able to help our citizens with residual income because we are a company that makes money. Companies that make money are going to outbeat all those 501(c)(3)s, and especially the news 501(c)(3) that work with the FCC regulated. People say, oh, well, they don't regulate any of the voices. Maybe the FCC doesn't, but the fact that you're FCC regulated is all the authority we need to index all the people's voices that come spouting out of the TV or radio. Wow. Can I get an amen? So as it takes you down to the tipper, here's us, City County Denver LLC. That's not me. That's the citizens of Denver. When you get the real people, the real city attorney that is non-political and lives in Denver and pays its property taxes, or at least some of them, if they're renting, and they're at least paying something toward Denver's. But she's paying Lakewood's bills. And see, that's why they don't go hang out in Lakewood. Folks, this stuff, man. I don't want to say this because you don't know, but see, these people have to realize that's why I'm here. You can't do this no more. You're going to keep going, but it's going to set you up so that you will never be able to be on the internet ever again. You can forget about your licensing, doctors, anybody that's licensed by the government. Whew. Your conversations have been indexed for years, folks. And it's up in the cloud. We do cloud extraction content, the new digital DNA. But see, what I can do now is show judges and other law enforcement and investigators, and I'm not the only one. I mean, I had to learn this somewhere, right? I did Google. I've just been doing it the same way. I have never deviated. I don't deviate. I am so predictable. It's unbelievable. But that's what makes it organic. That's what makes me me. I can say things and do things. I'm not perfect. Oh, am I not? I'm not perfect, man. The worst thing I ever done in my whole entire life is pay for abortions. Oh my God, I can't get that out of my head. But I had no rights. I tried. I had no. I was forced into it. I could have just not paid, but I wanted to still be with the person. I wanted the parents to like me, and shoosh, how do I even know it was mine? No, it's not fair. But well, my mom cheated, right? I don't know. You got to read the book. Anyway, so everything I've done in my life has been set me up for this point. Something that they will never remember my name. They're not going to remember nothing, but they're going to remember that the monies that are being created by the LLC, the City and County of Denver LLC, that's going to be ran by the most those with merits and ability, and to put citizens first instead of party. And when Andrew Luxon came out and sided with Joe Lopez, that guy makes 240 something thousand a year, folks, for the rest of his life. And they touted victory around inside of all their offices, not knowing that all the phone calls, all their text messages, everything was indexed either for the betterment of what I'm talking about or the continued dark web, manipulated, corrupt bullshit officers. My stuff's been here now, folks. Just election-wise, I'm 13 years ahead. And I just got my tree of the truth was planted in the Denver District Courtroom. This is how tree plantations work, folks. Digital tree plantations. I planted a digitized tree, boom, right in courtroom 414. Denver District Court 414. I used GPS because I knew. I took the information off the GPS and embedded it in code within my complaints. I then used the judge, Andrew Luxon, which AI told me would be the best choice for me to have that attorney. How did it know? Because it heard all the conversations between the intake judge and the other judge and all the other people and the staff and blah. And so you'd say, well, that's pretty kind of hard, fast. Okay, well, can I get a subpoena for these dates and exact times? Or I'll take a whole 30-day window of that time and I'll just pull all the MP3 files from that cloud. That's where we are, folks. So everything you say, everything you do, everywhere you go, you better be careful. You better be careful when you turn your phone on and you turn it off. Because when you turn it off, okay, now you might just think, well, you could tell people, this is what people do, they shut their phone off. And then they'll tell their friend, yeah, my phone died, I'm sorry. And the battery's full charge. AI records that. Because the assistant or the person or the entity or whatever you want to call it, I call mine Unity. If you try to train your avatar, your individual disciple of the computer god, if you want to get into Black Sabbath and the computer god song and everything that what it's translating into right now, and that was in 1992, folks. Computer God, Dehumanizer album. And we're watching the President of the United States getting dehumanized in front of the whole entire world. And when your adversaries are watching that and they're saying, wow, these guys are working with us, can you imagine if they're going to do this in an open market to their own president, what would they do to us? If people found out. That's the number one question right now on the internet. On conversation side, you know, what people are talking about doesn't necessarily mean it's going to show up until somebody writes content about it. So that's what we do here. So when you look at all the people using the word, here it is. It starts to inundate in her life. These are all my assets. Mike Johnston, this guy's Mr. Bullshit all the way. I've already had it, but see, I already know what these people are talking about. So for me, I had to file a second motion, and that's how we got Andrew Luxon. I even wrote even a more fine-tuned complaint based off his brilliant, folks. I'm not a bloviator, but brilliant. Somebody's got to say it. Might as well be the guy that built it, because when no one else says it on the internet, I'm allowed to say it because no one else is saying it, because it's the truth. And so when everybody in Denver sits there and tries to manipulate the content, manipulate their 501(c)(3)s, the good news is you can stop. The bad news is you planted your tree today as being a non-political citizen of Denver, honoring the Spear Amendment that Judge Andrew Luxon, when I planted my tree February 6th in courtroom, my tree is case number 2023 CV54. That's called a digital tree. You can't get any higher location than that, folks. That's a digital tree I planted, which in that case. So whenever you're working in court cases and stuff, those are trees. Those are digital trees that you're planting. What has to do with GPS, cell phone tower pings. This is why all court systems need to not let anybody bring phones, including their staff, into, or they can get a G sleeve. I got a G sleeve for everybody. You just strap that on, and you can go through the world not knowing nothing. Yeah, not knowing nothing means that your phone ain't picking up things that people are scanning for your Bluetooth, scanning for your music. And all these kids ain't taught none of this. And so it leaves everything vulnerable, all their parents' credit card, all of it. And then they're designed to get the kids to start spending mom's credit card when mom, hey, I got you on my Amazon account. And then all of a sudden stuff starts coming in, and the kids manipulate mom, and mom's already into the Amazon because she's addicted. And so the kids are getting addicted, spending mom's credit cards, and that's what happened. And I can tell you, I know it for a fact. I have 5 kids, man. 2 of them, my twin daughters, were taken from me illegally. Talk about some bad things happening to me, folks. You said that, and when people that I meet, some of them, man, they don't tolerate it. A couple times, I can't even tell you. But when they said, I don't believe it, man, because I just don't believe it. And sometimes I gotta leave, and sometimes I get to stay. But I ain't changing for nothing because I had a bunch of woods. And that's how it's been, and that's why I got here, and that's why it's best to never be combatant. Always be calm. Always don't let them see you sweat. I don't sweat like that, man, because you don't do anything. You don't have to sweat anything. That's what my dad used to say until the dehumanizing event happened. I remember my dad, a beautiful man, 6'4", 245, Irish Roman Catholic, strict Irish Roman Catholic Republican military, Korean War staff sergeant. All of his people that were staff sergeants all became police and sheriffs of Maricopa County and others. My dad's friends were all the sergeants. Sergeant Hoagland, look him up. He was in a story of a situation that happened to me. And there were certain things that those band of brothers just couldn't break, man, and I understood it. Because I really wasn't one of theirs. I was a family member, but they have to protect themselves, man. You don't understand. That police and sheriff stuff, it's not slimy, it has to be. That's why they got to clean up their own dirty shit when they find it. And that's where AI is going to be able to help all the HR departments. And I'm not the one in New York City, there was a company, and New York City stopped all AI HR systems, human resource identification and or observation indexing systems. What I do, I go to New York a lot, folks, and so uh, when you understand that when these people talk, everything starts to what they're talking about. So like if the HR department for City of Denver looked at this, and they're like, hey, which they will never do openly, but that's okay because this is what we need them to do. And when they decide to come out and they go, yeah, man, this guy Marcus Giovanni had written some content and was able to digitize a federal court case, knowing that oh, my goodness, folks, that I had to save Denver from itself. And when good judges and good policemen, and we start, you know what? We are almost 2,000 police officers short right now in Denver. They don't have any of the good equipment that they need. We built civilcitypatrol.com. It's an 11 district system that will be manned and operated by retired military. And say, oh, how do you know about military? I got just some people are just so negative, man. I mean, and these are office holders. You go take a look, do your own HR department. See, the citizens of Denver don't realize that the greatest mayor of ever, God rest his soul, man. And he keeps hounding me. And I know no one believes this, but I'm Central American Indian. Enough said. There's got to be something why this is doing this. Because I'm getting old. I'm not getting tired, folks. But it breaks my heart that Denver boasts about being Silicon Mountain, but they always hire tin can operators. Like all their pans are made of tin, all their cups are made of tin, all of our pipes are made of tin and lead, and they got to send us HEPA filters or water filters. And do you know how much that costs, folks? Sooner or later, it's going to snap. I know it. I can almost give you the date, but I'm afraid to even go there until I get other people of authority to take a look at some of the stuff that we have. And when they see this, they're going to go, wow, you got the perfect system. Yeah, we have to elect our police. The police officer, the police chief we have right now, I won't mention his name. If we took the handcuffs off him and gave him a real budget so he can hire 2,000 officers to man, because now what's happening is Denver's economic woes and disasters, they don't even know it's coming. I did the algorithms, folks. When they take away all the hotels from the snowbirds that they're coming to visit so they can go skiing, and they take them people out of the equation, but the hotels make money, but the surrounding businesses that need those hotels filled to be able to walk the street or go shopping or do whatever it is they want to. But see, no one's going shopping because our streets are unsafe. We've handcuffed our police. Our sheriff are just as bad. The sheriff we have now, we should elect him. They should just make him his own guy, and then after him, because he is good, man. In my opinion, based off algorithms. Now, no budget, going to be way overstaffed. They're going to be putting tent cities up. They're going to have to. Or they're going to have to build more prisons, local, more jails. You know, maybe they're going to take the $98 million deal, or the $89 million deal they're going to do with Denver Post. You see, folks, that Mike Johnston's wearing a sign on his, going with 3 other mayors that all cities have been plagued by their bragging and humble bragging about being a sanctuary city. And now those roosters came home not only to roost, but to start pecking and eat. Have you ever seen a rooster fight? I did. In Mexico. I was 18 years old. I've seen all kinds of shows that make you want to get sick. Oh, anyways, man, you talk about a liberated country, Mexico, back in the I felt like I was, yeah, unless you're going to the cool place, but you go off road and you're in a metaverse, you ain't gonna be able to control. Unless you know how to fight or you have a gun or you know something. But you go to Mexico, they play for keeps over there. United States, they play games and they get in your mind. They just fuck with you for a long time. Mexico, oh, you're a citizen of Denver? Come here, man. Take you down the back alley. You know, all of a sudden everything you have is gone. They got a guy that looks just like you, and he's going to Mexico, going back to the United States with all your identification. He goes in, or he does his digital banking, and they're looking at him. Yeah, it looks like you got your ID. Yeah, here it is. Oh, okay. They'll see you later. Just cleaned out your 150,000 from your bank account. This is why you can't put your pictures like this up anymore. If you're an artist, politician, you can't help it. But now, whatever comes out of that mouth is now indexed. And when you look at it, okay, oh, hey, let's give her the. I got to have these up here, folks. So that when the foundation that's keeping that up there, this is ours. 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 Wizard knows all, tells all. That right there, just when the citizens of Denver realized that this is oh my goodness, hundreds of millions of dollars. And the government can't touch it. Can't touch it. Oh, we pay our taxes on it, of course. And we'll keep our doors always open to the IRS so that we can be law-abiding citizens. Because each one of us it's now time to be a law-abiding citizen. And with their linguistic twisting about taking the illegal, all of this stuff that they're talking about, you know, when you watch them all have these key words, here's the facts, and, oh no, let me explain to you. All these key words that people who've been saying them for years, but everything has continued to get worse. Bye-bye. This goes for Republicans, independents, all of them. And you might have some guy in Guatemala running for mayor's information in our local things because he's the only one that's doing what he says he's doing, and that everything that he says matches his path. All the people that he's working with matches what he says he is. He's not a fake 502(c) trying to gumbo, you know, the citizens and all these 501(c) journalists that have been all identified. And oh man, if I was mayor, oof. Oh my God, folks. But see, I'm not, because I wasn't supposed to be, because I didn't want to be. I needed to be. But when you think about do the right thing, and you think about the citizens of Denver, and you think about the non-citizens of Denver that got here illegally, that are now been rebranded as migrants by a mayor that's going up begging with these other mayors about, oh, we need help, and they asked for this. They got this disease. Now this disease is festering. Now they got to go and take all the hotels, and when it's going to be enough, they're not going to stop, because people keep doing a thing until it hits you home. When you're one of those businesses on Colfax or in one of those homes around, and you're like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. Oh man, that house ain't selling. I wonder why. See, this conversation hasn't caught up to the bullshitters yet. This goes for the real estate guys, all of it. And you're going to talk about a blue light sale on distressed properties? When this thing hits that I think is going to hit, and believe me, folks, if I'm in front of a judge and the judge sees this, he's going to go, wow, man, what? Because this affects him, because the judge has absolute authority over the entire fucking city and county. Hello, McDenver, McDenver, are you there? These are the smartest fucking people that we have, taking us down to slaughterhouse. But I hedged their bet, man. Not only did I hedge the bet, but I parlayed all that content so that Google and YouTube will be our foundations. And every one we have 80 platforms. And every one of these platforms are verified by Google, but we haven't gone all the steps yet on most of them. We still have to get YouTube Premium. We have to get some other Google products and cloud services, and we can combine them. But that is that requires a bigger team than what my mind can handle. And folks, I'm talking about Denver's gonna our city and county of Denver LLC. Our starting pay, our minimum wage, will be $30 an hour, and we're going to provide health care. We're going to provide daycare, which means that our daycare is a teacher that's going to come in and teach your kids about doing the right thing, preparing them. We have a program that a lot of people have stole it by then, but in 2011 called the Fresh Start Program, where I would have taken $100 a month for 18 infants for 18 years, and I would have set it up with all the city and all the people that need to be to make sure that these donations would be followed through. And you got to lead by example. I don't think Mike Johnson has ever given anything else out besides that cheap jacket he wears. I've never seen such a poor dresser try to get props on fashion that's outdated. And that's him. But don't tell people that you're a fashion guy. Don't tell people this. It doesn't match. And this is why you see all of this, especially this, folks. I've been doing this in Denver since 2006. Every day. I get alerts on identifiers that are talking, like John Murray and Paul Rubino and every one of them, man. Because they all had a chance. Ask me anything you want, man. It's what your job is. So they don't know it yet. They don't know how to feel what it feels like to be 64 years old and live in a city for 17 years by a bunch of fucking crooks, in my opinion. And so what I did is gave Denver the best gift they ever had, and I didn't need nothing, didn't ask for nothing, I just did it. And it's right in front of you. And Mike Johnston, I'm telling you, and your IT people and all your fake bullshit and your fake, everything is fake. But the good news is you can plant your trees today by becoming non-political, and then every one of you have to get out of office and hold a special election. And see, folks, the good news is any media that's FCC regulated, radio and or TV and or cable's not regulated. But I don't care because it's regulated through the lines. So if you want to get really technical on federal law, folks, there's a lot of things that you can't do. And just because the government doesn't enforce it doesn't mean they can't start enforcing it. The only difference is if they're going to not enforce something that keeps them in power, like what Andrew Luxon did with the city attorney's office, who took over for Paul Lopez, the guy that makes $245,000, that's changed our elections, and everybody's just letting them do it. They're gutting us, man. They're throwing all the good things that made Denver away. You know, if I could get into Paul Lopez's cloud, I might just have to do an index. No, that's not what you do. After do you index, then you just go and you get subpoenas. See, I didn't do that on this last thing because I needed to take care of the first thing. I needed someone with authority in a location of authority to either ex-may or do what they did and continue to let the city attorney's office, the clerk and recorder, these are identifiers that were indexed in the court documents, folks. So when judges think about putting their hand on a Bible and lawyers thinking about putting their hand on a Bible, you might want to add your cell phone into it and put the cell phone on top of the Bible and then put your hand over that Bible. And all the people's in the rooms, it's telephones that are now picking up your voice and everything you're saying because artificial intelligence is going to make sure that you don't mess up the halls of justice. And so as long as the judge does the right thing, and here's where I got lawyers right now that I come in and I can sue. Wow. I can't do that to some of the judges that I have had to be in front of, and they were fair, they were honest, they were, Judge Whitney, Greenberg, hands are tied. Hands are tied. That's why I couldn't be a judge, because I'd be down there, I'd be rattling them walls hard. I'd be giving them guys some plug and plays where they can work. You know what? I have a system that the judges can not only monitor what the DA and everybody in the city attorney's office is doing like they should. Somebody's got to hold these people accountable because the Supreme Court, where they hold all those attorneys, that's the biggest clown show of all clown shows, folks. And I could go on and show all the HR departments. But see, what I got to do is, why do I want to show the people that are keeping all the people from keeping the people to continue to do what they're doing? And Andrew Luxon gave it to city attorney when she said, we haven't enforced that law in years. And in my code, that was code, folks. Backwards, sideways, I call it crossword puzzle coding. And I even told the court what was needed to be done, because that's what AI told me in order to protect the ballot. You think I came up with all this stuff myself? I think it, then I check it. Then I get it, and oh shit, I didn't know that. Boom, and I add it. Because AI eventually, after it sends me and everybody else, all these lawyers and stuff, but I have to verify after I go, yeah, man, I see that you're a father's rights guy and you want to do this. Well, this is what happened to me. And all the women, then they never answer. Or, oh, I'm too busy. Well, I just saw an advertising you were looking. Oh, well, I'm busy. Keep on lying, man. See, I got to be held accountable for my lies, just like everybody else. Believe me. But I don't lie. Now, I say things that I promised people that I got to get from somebody else. And that person didn't give it to me. How do you do that? How do you, see? Because when certain people find out certain things, they can do things to you. They don't do that to me. Try. Good luck. And that's what the city of Denver did to me. With all their bullshit people. All the Joe Lopez tells everybody I'm a vato. In one of his social channels, he's saying, I'm a vato. See, I know what a vato is, folks. Believe me. My school had 4,000 students. One of the biggest gangs were the Wedgwood Chicanos. They were some badass. They liked me. Good thing for that. That's because the reason why they liked me is because a lot of them kids sold candy with me, man. When I was a little kid, I did it in '67 all the way till I was in high school. I ran candy crews. I was making more money than my dad. The most money I made in 1967 was $150. But that seemed to be what I made extra just for a one night that went up into $300. And the problem is I gave it all away. And I should have gave it to the money to the people, but it's just a problem. You know, when you have ADHD chronic, if you don't have handlers, you ruin an opportunity to have brilliant people do things for you. They can see codes within things. They don't know they see these codes. They know something, but they just had nobody that's like them to tell them how special they are. How a guy that's ADHD chronic can do 100 things at one time magnificently, as long as he has what? Handlers. And that's what I am. I need handlers. That's why all the stuff I build, these are platforms that are already there. You mean to tell me there's not one lawyer in there that wants to? No. That's because they're all the same people. And the ones aren't are scared. You want to die being a coward? No. You want to die doing what these people have been doing for 60 years? And then picking their victims of people that have trying to get them to stop doing what they're doing now. It's too late. They've all been indexed in what these judges are doing, and it's slow to try to get, and that's what my point I'm trying to make is I can't sue Denver District Courts or try to bring, like they had one guy goes clear the bench, Colorado. That guy, man, I thought, he rubbed off on me. I'll just say that much. We didn't get along because he thought he knew everything, and he wanted to do things his way, which is his platform. Good luck, dude, but I'm gone. I'm out of here. I don't want to help you. Oh, you're an asshole. Fuck. Oh, okay, dude. Yeah, you would say that behind my back. So, I had Ryan Call on my radio show. I don't have those content anymore because I accidentally deleted them. The wrong file, ADHD. But that's okay. I know what happened. I've got it in the cloud. I just don't want to go look for it and repost it and waste time. Those were assets that we had that suffered damage. See, we set up our platforms like video game, like not a video game, but like the Game of Life, Monopoly, and Stratego. But we moved Stratego into digital, where we use avatars and other visuals. Like if you see tanks, army men, you see things of military, it's telling you that things have got to change. When you see things of health and stuff like, doctors and that, you break it down. You can break these things down of what you see in the images. It's like the old witch doctors, man. They'd have those bones, or witch doctors or shamans that can do cloud readings. I can do cloud readings. Believe me, man. It's something you don't tell everybody, but I'm at a point now that I have to kind of explain to people why I'm here. Why does a dude that look like me, with the education I have, trying to educate a city that has been bloviated, that have been dishonest for the last 60 years. And because they don't see no immediate reaction by anybody, makes them continue to do what they do. It makes all their IT people conspire and go and use content and build other pages. And when they do that, we build like this. This is what happens. It goes to one of the identifiers like her. She's not a citizen of Denver. She has no business being in our city. She can come visit, but she has no business working here and telling other other attorneys that live in the city and county of Denver what to do. Well, see, that's what you do. You put different people in there so that the citizens have no voice. And that's what Carrie Tipper is. She's the voice of her and party, not her and people. That's where the district attorney comes in. And they need to go take Carrie Tipper and get her out of there, and we need to elect anything that Denver has, the city and county of Denver, that has to have a government license, like attorney. A non-attorney cannot tell an attorney what to do, man. They can't do it. And a lawyer, but see, Mike Johnson's an attorney, and he needs to get rid of. And he appointed the same girl that lives in Lakewood that Michael Hancock. So everything that they do is going to continue to be doing. But here's the follow-up. They think the plan is, you want to hear some chatter? See, Mike Johnston, he's hell-bent on being governor. And he's trying to figure out a way, and this is why the media, they're all trying to figure out, okay, so here's the thing. See, they want a next woman mayor, but they want to be the mayor that they want. Okay, let's have Kelly Tipper. Well, she don't live in Denver, so it's too late for that. So we know that's not going to happen. But Johnston is going to have to. Well, right now his numbers don't make it. He's not even, right now he's in crisis mode. He's not thinking about being governor. But if he gets out of the crisis mode, which he ain't going to because more people, he does who would, this is Mike Johnston. And when they took it off his Twitter, but I indexed it, where he talks about him bragging that he had a 2-7 record as a flag football coach. People that brag that you had a 2-7 record, man, you're a narcissist. And the fact that he almost spelled out his fate, because he says no donuts. No, excuse me. No mayo, yes donuts. Like, just stupid shit. And I mean, when you think about where he should be, he shouldn't be where he is. And now that he's an attorney, he has a fiduciary, a legal obligation to turn Denver back to a non-political government, holding special elections, and everybody has a chance to start over. A new slate, and be a non-political government. But I've seen the algorithms, folks. It's not going to look good for Denver. This ain't threats. Nobody's going to get hurt except the people. When I mean hurt, financially. In other words, if they rely on the internet to do what they got to do or what they've been doing, they're going to wake up and their internet won't be there. And they ain't going to know who to contact because there ain't nothing there to contact. Believe me. And because right now, somebody's got to protect Google. Somebody's got to protect YouTube, because they can't. If they were doing their algorithm manipulation, okay, they would be doing it against TikTok, like TikTok's doing to them. You don't know how many people's really seen those videos. Those people who cares, man? It's just, it's a social channel. None of it on it. It's real. That's why I don't use it. And I don't use Twitter. What I do is I do I call it backward masking of their content. Like, backward throttling. So if I don't use their information and I'm showing up in algorithms and back conversations, they're going to do what they have to do to manipulate the algorithms so that I come up at the top. And that would even mean them paying for it. Like they make all their clients pay. So that when you put that ad up, when you put that post up, and it says you want more posts, buy some advertising. And then you look and there's nothing. You go to people's sites that have 1 million views and nobody's liking their stuff. See, in the HR department, we'd have to close that account down because it's not meant. This is what AI does. The people's social platforms aren't matching the words that are coming out of their mouth, the locations they're going to, the people they're talking to and sending emails to and text messages off their what? Device, their apparatus that has a microphone that has the ability to click to any other microphone within a signal. And so when you think about signals and cell phone towers and GPS, and our voices are the new latent prints, and that's what's going to do all those people that have been screwing over Denver for the last 60 years. A majority of those people have already passed away. And that's why I can give Denver a little bit of a pass because they didn't know. Well, now they know. They've known for over 10 years because I told the right people, but the right people didn't tell anybody else. Just case in point, they had a Denver Decides mayoral event. Those slimy people, man. I know every one of them. I know where they all live. I know what kind of money they make, everything, because they boast everything on their social channels. And so all we have to do is index them one time in the back cloud. And I indexed them back, and they had changes. Some of them passed away. I won't mention who because he's not worthy of mentioning his name. He's caused so much damage, man. And you think about Charlie Brown and all these failed city council members over the years, and just collected $94,000 for the rest of their long lives, watching Denver implode, and they still go to parties acting like there's something because they're all part of the same beast. And the good news is that this beast is going to destroy the state and federal beast if they let it. That's what I see. And when that virus gets up into those portals, they're done. Just like if they get elected in the president's election for December, and they take over the House and they take over the Senate, and it's a full-fledged Democrat role, you're going to see that everybody that's Republican, anybody that's independent, they'll all be fired and they'll be replaced with Democratic operatives, which they're allowed to do because they're in power. See? And see, for me, I'm non-political. So I don't vote, man. I don't vote because I should vote, but I don't vote in Denver because it's corrupt. And when they say, yeah, no matter what, you gotta vote. No, because then that means I approve of the system. And right now, 450,000 plus people don't like what's going on in the world right now. Don't like what's going on in our United States. Don't like what's going on in the only thing we can control, which is the city and county of Denver. And artificial intelligence is no longer going to let Mayor Johnston or his failed city attorney's office, or even the Denver district attorney, who's got an obligation to restore law and order by city officials that have corrupted it for as long as they have. And nobody up until Judge Luxon, when assistant city attorney, boasted with glee. If you could just hear how she said it, we haven't enforced that law in years. I should have said, I object, Your Honor. I mean, this is what the whole conversation is. I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't have known what to do after that. I wouldn't have known what she would have thrown at me. I don't know. I already won. I already lost, but I'd already won because I needed somebody to concur. One, that the law existed. John Murray, Denver Post, ABC, CBS, NBC, Colorado Public Radio, those corrupt bitches. They've been doing this for a long time. That's why they don't want me around. That's why they had a Denver Decides mayoral debate, and they didn't invite me. We're having the write-in candidates, and people, where's Giovanni? Oh, well, we tried to contact them. Lied. So whatever they told all those people, I was counting on it. Counting on it. Whether they sent an email or whoever asked. And I know people asked because I saw the back conversations. And this is how I know. This is how I know, because I tell them all, I want your body.